And we should be live. Let me double check, make sure. Looks like it. But just to be safe, wait for the ad to finish. And there we go. Awesome. All right. Hello, everyone. Ace here. Today I am joined by returning guest Alpharius.
Howdy.
And today we are, of course, back with some more Star Wars X-Wing Rogue Squadron. Doing more of the Rebel Opposition. This is issue 4, and this is going to be the end of the Rebel Opposition story arc from the looks of things. Your boy Louisiana boy says, "What's up?" Not much. I hope everyone is having a good day, by the way. Siege says, "Good evenings." Good evening, Siege. So, I think we should go ahead and get started. Salon Lich says, "Ace on time in Giga Chat." Thank you very much. Aura says, "You're slightly late, Ace." Am I? I thought I had started... Well, let's check, see how long this stream has been going.
Probably just a slight difference in time zones.
About a minute, so we're actually... I think we're technically slightly early, but also, hello, Horus. Maybe it is time zones, though. Ben Bell, so is this comic book? Yes. This comic is good. It is good. That said, there have been some amusing moments in it. Like, apparently we watched a Wookiee destroy a TIE fighter with a massive tree branch. Which, okay, I can kind of see that, I guess.
I mean, if we're talking Republic Commando Wookiees, then yeah, I could see that happening.
Alright, Biggest Hentus, Blackest Dickus says hello. Hello there. Salon says lying Spaniard. Oro says, "I am nitpicking here. Fuck you, Lickman." Alright, so let's go ahead and see how this goes, shall we? Chapter 4, okay. Gives us a little bit of the backstory here. Alright, so I'm going to voice this guy here, I believe. Don't shoot!
Where'd you come from? What's your unit?
Selthu, Tycho, Captain, Imperial Navy. I was assigned to Kidian unit, but I got shot down by an X-Wing squadron. I've been hacking my way to daylight for 36 hours.
Alright, Captain. We'll take you into Kidian. Climb aboard. That squadron's been giving us fits. Too bad you lost your ship, but at least we got another pilot.
I appreciate the ride. So, yeah, he was shot down, ironically enough, by his own X-Wing. Then we found out he got kind of left behind there, so now he's hitching a ride with the Imperials. Cool.
You look beat up, Captain. Fortunately, we have a skilled healer on board, Princess Leia.
Princess Leia Organa?
The same. Quite a prize for a little Morphe. Princess, take care of this pilot.
Why should I?
It's a long way to Kidan. You wouldn't like it if I made you ride outside in the sun.
I'll treat him, but not because I'm afraid of you. He's just a soldier. He can't be blamed if his supervisors or his superiors are cretins. I'll take that seat, soldier. You want to voice the soldier there?
Yeah. But I'm supposed to guard her.
I think I can handle her. Go on.
Yes, sir.
It's fun being a captain. What happened to you? I got shot down by my own R2 unit. Whoops. Based R2 unit. That was you? I was sending a message to Wedge when it took off. No. Oh, wait, I see. Okay, I got them mixed up. That was you? I was sending a message to Wedge when it took off. I finally overrode your R2 and found myself surrounded by hostiles, so... Where's Jansen? He's alright. He's in the other transport.
We're coming into Kidan. Captain, you might want to take a look.
Thank you, sir. We'll talk later. The armored column moves into a secure hangar before unloading.
This way, Highness.
Get your hands off me. I don't need help walking.
Sir, may I present Princess Leia Organa. Oh. Oh no. Oh no.
What?
Look at his hand.
Let me check. I see. These guys really do put the Empire Imperial Stormtrooper, don't they?
Yeah. Was I voicing this guy, this Moff before?
Also, is it just me or does the Moff have the hands of the Penguin from Batman? To be fair, he's in the distance though, so I'll let that slide.
Yeah. Princess Leia, a great honor. Come closer. Have a seat. Would you like a drink?
No, thank you.
I hope you won't refuse my invitation to dinner. We prepared quite a feast in your honor.
Why honor me, Governor? You made your choice, and it's not the New Republic.
Yes, but once you hear my plan, you'll realize how brilliant it is, and where you'll fit in. The New Republic is dying, Highness.
You need to voice this guy as Dr. Evil.
Oh god, you're right. But there's no reason for you to die with them. Dinner at 8, Take those cuffs off her. She's not going anywhere. How was that?
Pretty good. I like it.
Yes, sir.
Leia, may the Force guide me. Knock, knock. Governor Norquist wants you to wear this. Get out.
That's it. Now you're putting on a show. No, idiot. Why? Oh my.
You guys act as if you've never seen a woman before.
There are few women of your quality on Kilpar, Highness. E.T. Not bad for a local lad, eh? Of course, this is just a way station. For me, it's simply the highest post I could attain on Kilpar. Understand?
Perfectly.
I'm no mere governor. I'm expecting visitors shortly. Powerful visitors. Will elevate me to the next level. An ambassador. Or perhaps a cabinet minister.
Very impressive.
Once, perhaps the rebels were my best hope. But now, you see, well, things have changed.
Let me go ahead and read some of the comments here. Urus says classic Star Wars. Yep. Louisiana Boy says old Star Wars. Yes. Oh, okay. So they're answering Solon's. So this is good classic Star Wars. Siege is laughing. Solon is reeing. Siege says sneaky, but right in the middle of the page. Nice. Louisiana Boy says, my man, do the base salute. Siege says, perfect. Urus says, it's no NOS lave outfit, but it will do. Louisiana says, I used to love Star Wars, but Disney, well, ruined it. I still respect what Lucas did back in the 70s. Indeed.
Indeed.
Alright, back to it. Don't shoot.
Vance, where's Targeter?
I've got to see Captain Antilli. Wait, that's the one guy that's the villain. I've got to see Captain Antilles. They got Princess Leia and one of your men, Jansen.
Who's got the princess?
Imperial stormtroopers. They would have had me, too, if I hadn't escaped when they stopped to pick up a flyer.
What flyer?
I don't know. An imp. One of your rogues shot him down.
Did you see this pilot downed?
Scrawny, little sucker with an Alderaanian accent.
Height? Weight? Color?
Excuse me, Captain Antilles. The Imperials have captured Princess Leia. Who cares about an imp fighter? We've got to reach her. Vance is right. If they really do have the princess, we've got to rescue her.
Why are you suddenly so enthusiastic?
Wedge, can I speak to you for a minute?
What?
We still don't know who the traitor is.
That won't be a problem.
Why not? You know something I don't?
Nope.
Come on. Spill, you know who it is, don't you?
Yes, I know who the imposter is. Not a clue. Let's go. Vance is right. We gotta save Princess Leia before the imps move her off planet.
I'm not sure who this character is. So you want to voice this character?
Sure. Or before they strengthen their garrison. Blur says the Imperials just popped a destroyer over the North Pole.
What? How does he know that? I don't see any sky scan equipment.
Big ears.
Wait a minute. You can't hear anything in orbit from down here.
You'd be surprised. Listen up. We're splitting into two forces. L-Skull will lead the ground assault on the Moff stronghold. Rogue Squadron will provide air support, and hit the imp base.
With 4 ships? Do you know how many TIE fighters they have?
No. Do you?
Judging by the pilot's traffic and supplies moving in and out, there must be at least a dozen. We've identified 9 separate eyes, but that was before you engaged them 2 days ago. We have 5... I don't know who's... Okay. I'm gonna assume that's her. We have 5 confirmed kills, but they may have resupplied, or they may have had replenishments you didn't know about. I think that's Wedge there, so I'll let you voice that.
Well, try them on the ground. Take out as many as you can before they get airborne. Vance, we could use a spotter.
Sorry, I get airsick.
Since when do you get airsick?
Hey, do you think I'd let you make this run without me? Besides, I have a secret weapon.
This dude's like that conspicuous, but at the same time, he's acting a little suspicious.
What kind of secret weapon? Urgh. Imperial Deep Space Trooper suit. I've got one stashed on the way. Oh, Groznik, just sit there. You've done enough running around. Let him roam. There's not enough room in here for him and the suit. Why didn't you tell Wedge? Go. Those sky jockeys don't think anyone can fly but them. They'd grab the suit for themselves. Where did you learn to operate a deep space trooper suit? Are you kidding? They're idiot-proof. A Wookiee can fly one. There's a heads-up display menu on the face shield. I still don't get why you kept it a secret. Trust me. Wait here. Stang, do you need some help? No, it's just bulky. I've got the repulsor unit on. Alright, I don't know what the song is supposed to be, so... She was a wild star rover and I was your lover.
I don't know who this guy is, but I'm voicing him as, Now I've forgotten his name, but... Hey, lover boy. Suit up. We gotta scramble.
What's up? Ronks in the garbage dump?
That's Stang X-Wing Squadron. Just burst from cover. Head this way. Hope you fly better than you sing. Those Stang rebels have already shot down 5 ties.
What about my fighter? I want to do my own check-through.
Search, your senior flight officer. You're in charge of Red Team.
What's the mission, Chief?
Liz. Is that him?
I'm pretty sure Kelthu is the one getting into the TIE fighter, so that's not him. So that's your guy.
Alright. We're splitting into 2 flights. You lead Red Squad against an armored column advancing towards Kidan through the Emperor's Forest. Petro will lead the air assault on the X-Wing Squadron.
Hey, Chief, I've got a lot more experience than he does.
You lead the assault on the armored column. Those are your orders.
Stang, the luck. They get the glory. We get a mud hen shoot. Gentlemen, you have your orders.
We could dust those rebels just as easily as Blue Squad.
Let me go ahead and read some of the comments here. Louisiana says, I used to love Star Wars, but Disney will ruin... Oh, yeah, okay. Solon says, woman in cuffs, I'm literally shaking. Or says, I am literally shaking whenever I don't see woman in cuffs. Need to crawl those for here. Okay, I'm trying not to make 50 Shades of Grey jokes, but you guys are not making it easy. Louisiana says the imposter is sus. I'm sorry, that's okay. Rose says he did some tie smashing, so he is an extra good boyo. Your Louisiana boy says, when did this comic come out? It came out in the mid-90s, so it's been out for a little while. Swanled says, to Oros, based in Inquisition pilled. Oro says nobody expects the Inquisition. Yes, exactly. Alright, let's go ahead and continue. No doubt if that's the way you feel about it, can you start with me? Because I survived, Endor has a rebel.
What?
Tycho to road leader. Wedge, don't shoot. I'm in the lead eyeball.
I read you. Tycho. Maintaining bearing and... I'm dropping a die marker on you, Tycho. Attention, Rogue Squadron. Don't shoot the yellow eye. It's one of ours.
Crump. Wedge, 4 more eyes headed our way on a side bearing. I think that says.
Okay, Law. Nice shooting. You heard him, people.
Hey, make sure I got the right page here. Yep. Stang! If those imps could aim, they'd be dangerous. Insert stormtrooper jokes. Vance, use the deep space trooper suit. Not here, Eskel. If I stop to put it on, we'll be sitting my knocks. They're pulling back. Good. We'll have a clear path to Moff's palace. But why? Maybe Rogue Squadron overwhelmed the forces. What other forces? How do you know so much about Moff's maneuvers? Vance, you've been sneaking around like an imp spy. Don't be silly. Not good enough. Stop the truck. No! Whack!
Just say no. A rebel leader cannot arrest you if you do not consent.
Based imp spy.
Uh-oh.
Your little guerrilla theater is over. Your pal Groznik should be dead by now. You traitor! You screwed up. Oh, stag! Okay, you don't have to rub it in. Stupid Wookiee. He should have killed me when he had the chance. Ha! The fools left the space trooper suit. First, I'll take care of Eskel and her pet. Then I'll be on hand to pull the Moff's fat from the fire. Should be a chest spring inside the helmet. Yeah! Where is it? Yeah! Ah! Ronk! Ugh!
Whoops.
The difference between LucasArts comics and Disney comics. Stop! Eskel, what happened to Vance? Where's your tractor? Vance was a traitor. Groznik killed him. I never did trust that guy. Anyone voice the other two characters?
You're flaming us on. Rogue Squadron has already begun its assault.
Let's go. We've got a revolution to run. Eskel leads the assault on the Moff's palace. While in the air, Rogue Squadron makes short shrift of the Imperial defenses.
Tycho, I've got 2 eyes staring up my tail.
I've got him. Wedge, keep plowing. The phrasing on this. Oh, oh god! People are gonna look at this comic, gonna look back on this comic a few decades from now, and it's going to be taken the exact same way as that one infamous boner comic from Batman fighting the Joker.
Oh. I guess I'll voice this guy.
Let me read some of the comments here real quick before we do that. Solon says, well, at least the essay did not see that one coming. Okay. Siege is laughing. Oro says, a bit too late, a bit too much warning. You should have shot first and asked if he was a spy after. Ah, yes, the old Team Fortress 2 strategy. Oro says, epic Wookiee sounds are epic, thank you. Ooh, disarmed. Siege goes, oh, snap. Oro says, giggity. Yes, giggity indeed.
Man, what is it with people in Star Wars getting disarmed?
Louisiana says, keep plowing is what I want to do to Anime Girl. Well, that it wasn't helped when the line just prior to it was, I've got two eyes staring up my tail. Just saying. Siege says, to plow or not to plow, that is the essence of this comic. Wait, let me see let me double check. Okay. Alright, fine. Alright, go ahead and voice that guy.
Both Pascal to Imperial Star Destroyer. Come in. Stein. I've got to get out of here. On your feet, Highness. It's time to leave.
It's time for you to leave.
Shut up. I need you to pilot my shuttle.
Didn't you ever learn to do anything useful?
I give orders that are extremely useful. Get in the shuttle. Try anything and I'll shoot you and use a program to lift off.
Roar!
Holy.
Murderer! Grosnick, no! Let the courts deal with him. At least he'll get a fair shake.
You won't last a day. The Imperials are landing with massive strength.
You're misinformed, Moff. Now that you've lost your little kingdom, the Imperials have lost interest in you.
Winter.
Winter? Who's Winter?
She's Princess Leia's assistant. They're often mistaken for each other.
She's not Princess Leia?
Nope. But it turns out she's the targeter I was looking for.
I'm glad to see you made it, Captain. Your pal Jansen is recovering in the infirmary. Glad to hear it, Princess.
Winter, I just got a call from Nick. We're pulling out, Tycho. We're pulling out. Tycho, you're flying the Moff shuttle.
What about my X-Wing? I can fly that, Lambda.
Nope. Tycho's got space reflexes. You don't.
You want...
I love how...
Huh?
Sorry.
Go ahead.
I love how many times people just shut down this one whenever they're in a conversation.
Oh, dear.
Alright, you're under red. No. I'm not putting that on. No. It's hilarious.
It is a little bit. You want me to fly it by myself, Chief? That thing's a truck.
I need to get back to Central. Need a co-pilot?
Why? Oh. Why, I'd be honored. Well, let's get your friend out of sickbay and leave this garden spot. Fine by me. Vance is your traitor.
Figured that one out. Know where he might be?
Groznik took care of him.
Too bad. Thought he looked good decorating that lamppost.
Based!
Oh my god!
Based Batman!
Oh, holy crap!
Wedge here, planning to turn the dude into a Christmas ornament.
Good lord!
Made in the USA. Oh. Don't worry. When a Wookiee takes care of you, you don't come back.
What now?
I don't know. There's nothing really to keep me here.
I need someone to pilot Tycho's X-Wing back to control.
Me and one of those things? Forget about it.
Hey, I saw you drive a speeder. You're a natural. You want off planet or not?
Yeah, I want off.
Remember what you told me?
That's your line.
My squadron, my choice. You're driving.
Okay, so that's the end of that comic, apparently.
Short and sweet.
Yep, that's what happens when you have a good Star Wars comic. I don't have to spend half an hour complaining about stuff like no one expects you not to feel the things you feel, zine. Let's see. I'll read some of the comments here. Quite a few of them. Okay. Solon Lich. Okay, yeah, Solon Lich gets it. Oro says, racist Asian voice is racist. I approve. Okay. Yeah, Louisiana boy says, same Oros, same. Besides, my accent is very southern. I have no idea what yours is. Seed says, leaping Wookiee to the rescue for the second time. Well done. Will he get a hat trick? Who knows? I see what Biggest is like his Dickus is doing. Oh dear. Uro says, I am told I have a stereotypical German accent when speaking English. You know, your standard Spanish way of speaking. Yeah. Oros does not sound German, at least not in my experience.
Yeah.
To be fair, though, I think it might have to do with a fact that a lot of people in the U.S. might not hear a Spanish accent that much, so...
Yeah.
That might be it. They might be more familiar with other accents that, from people that speak Spanish. Anyways, yeah, Louisiana boy says, really, because you sound Italian? Ura says, I don't know, man. My accent is confused. Solon says, Ura's confused for an Italian. Oof. Well, I mean, it kind of makes sense, if only because Spanish and Italian are both from the same...
yeah.
I think it's called the Romantic language group.
Yeah.
So
They're a lot more similar to each other than either of them is to France, to say the least.
yeah. Oro says, at least I wasn't confused for a Frenchie. Almost said cringy. Whoops. Siege says, degenerates like you belong on across the sky. Louisiana boy says, I got Italian ancestry, God's honest truth, and even German, a lot of German Uki. Solon says to Urus, been confused for a surrender land inhabitant, cow dishonored. Siege says, it's nice not to be distracted by the stupid. Yes, indeed. Whereas in old school Star Wars, it's may the force be with you. In Disney Star Wars, it's may the farce be with you. because at this point it is just Disney Star Wars is a ridiculous exaggeration of a joke, like a farce. Tehedora says he's from Mars, believe me. Siege is laughing. Louisiana says Germans whacked the cringies and the trenchies back in 1914, 1918. The French actually put up a decent fight in World War One for what it's worth.
Yeah, that's what I never get about any World War One video game. The French are like only a secondary faction for some reason.
I mean, if you actually looked at it, I'm pretty sure the French effectively controlled most of the Western Front, although were the biggest in terms of the number of sectors, at least for the majority of the war. Although the British also controlled a fair amount, and they also had a small area that was the Belgian sector as well. Not to be confused with Belgian territory on the front lines. I'm talking about Belgian troops controlling the area around Newport specifically. But yeah, the French. There's a reason why France suffered. I think it was something like 70% casualty rates total in World War One.
My God.
Yeah. The only nations that actually fared worse than France in terms of casualty rates were Russia and Austria-Hungary.
Oh my God.
Russia had something like 75 to 77%, and Austria-Hungary was up to 90% somehow in the war.
God.
How the hell do you manage to suffer 90% casualties in a war?
Well, probably fighting the Italians in the Alps.
Well, there's it. My understanding was it was really fighting the Russians that really caused the bulk of it. So, like the Brusilov offensive, especially, like the Austro-Hungarians in the Brusilov offensive, in one single battle, 1.5 million casualties for just Austria-Hungary. It is, yeah. Louisiana Boy says, wasn't the only reason the French got blitzed was because their army wasn't up to date. Well, kinda, and... Okay, so the big issue for France in World War II, the biggest issues were...
Their army was definitely up to snuff for the war they thought they were going to fight.
Yep, the big issues were poor leadership, poor communication. So the fact that they didn't put radios in all their tanks and just put them into tank commander tanks and what have you. They were actually still... The French, from what I understand, in some cases were even still relying on stuff like carrier pigeons to relay orders in World War II to some degrees. So the fact that... It wasn't so much that the French were retreating, it was the fact that the French army was basically driving around in circles, trying to catch up with the Germans to fight them, not because the German tanks were necessarily faster, but because the Germans were better in terms of communication, and also their officers were a lot more aggressive.
Makes sense.
So that in a nutshell, it's not even... So it isn't a case where the French had worse equipment in terms of actual... on a tactical level. Now, granted, the tanks themselves, the single turret design was a bad idea. And because what it meant was the commander had to be the gunner and the loader, and that greatly reduced the efficiency of the tank. However, the armor on these French tanks tended to be so good that German tanks could not actually penetrate them. Now, granted, a lot of the French tanks also were still using the outdated 37mm gun that was seen in World War One. A lot of them, not all of them. You still have more advanced designs like the Samoa 35 and the Char B1 that had the more modern 47mm that could punch through pretty much anything the Germans had. But tanks like the FCM 36, yeah, that thing couldn't really punch German tanks, but again, the German tanks couldn't really punch to that either. It basically, the only way the Germans could destroy that with regular tanks was basically by just hitting them so many times that the armor would eventually shatter.
My God.
So it would. So yeah. One area where I do think the French were actually a little behind was aircraft in terms of both numbers and also the aircraft wasn't necessarily as good either. They're basically their counterpart to the BF-109. Their more advanced counterpart to that would have been the Dwinton 520, I believe, and that one was it's okay, but it's not as good, and that's the problem. Along with bureaucracy too. A lot of the French Air Force wasn't even really getting into the air that much because of French bureaucracy.
Yep.
Anyways, so yeah, basically, the French weren't actually defeated by having outdated equipment. I mean, you could certainly argue that for the tank guns for some of the older tanks like the FCM-36. But generally, it was a case of poor leadership and poor communication would be the two biggest issues, I think. Anyways, but that is a bit of a tangent. So, anyways, so thoughts on this comic?
Pretty good.
Agreed. I am looking forward to seeing what the future issues have, and it looks like we have up to 19 issues total in this, so that is lovely. I'll have a fair amount more time to look at this. Louisiana Boy says, "Yeah, I've always heard the French were pansies and surrender, but wasn't it the French government that made them surrender?" Yes, although to be fair, by this point, the French, the guys in charge of the French military had basically screwed themselves over so much that the Germans had actually, by that point, outmaneuvered them. So there is that. Although, yeah, it is true that what the French could have done, and probably should have, was just be a government in exile and just fight, basically leave with the British and then try to retake their homeland eventually, which is what the Free French did. Credit where credit is due. The Free French did do that. But the Vichy portion of France, the Vichy portion basically did just surrender after they realized they weren't going to be able to win. Anyways, so Aura says, more comics, less problems. Yep, I would say this is a pretty good comic book series, and I am happy to see how this is going. It is nice. Change of pace to see something good Star Wars comic books related. Of course, we will have to be getting into some more Halcyon Legacy eventually when the next issue does come out for that. Louisiana Boy says Marshall Patan got what he deserved. Yeah, I think so.
I don't know, that dude just gave off some serious I really wish I weren't here right now energy.
Ironically, the dude was a hero in World War I thanks to the Battle of Verdun, but
yeah,
World War II kind of royally destroyed his reputation. It's kind of similar in some regards to how, if I remember correctly, the top French... There's a reason why people remember Georges Guynemer, the top, one of the main aces of France for World War I, but they don't typically remember René Fonck, which was the actual top French ace of World War I. And that's because if I remember correctly, he did some pretty sketchy stuff that around the time of World War II that understandably soiled his reputation.
Oh no.
I forget what it was. I'll have to double check, but I'll have to check. But I know he would. Let me check here, just for the sake of it. But I remember him I remember him not being well liked in France for a reason. Yeah, I can see why. Okay, so apparently he had a thing for Goering and Udet. Yeah, that would do it.
What was his name?
Renee Fonk.
Renee Funk?
Uh-huh. Yeah, apparently he was... Apparently my understanding... Well, it is a little more complicated, but I can also see what... But it is... Yeah, he had a thing with Goering and Udet, and yeah, that would absolutely do it. So yeah, that seems to be the main thing there. Anyways, let's go ahead and continue on. Solon List says this was a real nice treat after enduring the high repulsive. Thank you. The repulsive will be back sadly, eventually. Although the repulsive was so repulsive that Disney decided to distance the High Republic from the High Republic by setting Phase 2 a few hundred years prior to Phase 1.
They're just gonna keep making worse and worse comics, and they're just gonna have to keep going farther and farther back in time until it's back in the Stone Age.
We'll be back to the Old Republic. Sadly, they might still not have learned their lesson by that point. They might still make Daniel Jose older a writer.
Oh, jeez.
Honestly, that guy, I can't believe that man impresses me in all the wrong ways. Solon says, okay, so Louisiana Boy says, I know in Kaiserreich, Pétain is the president of France in 1936, but in KR, France is just North Africa colonies. Okay.
I remember seeing this random YouTube video about the Eternals and what went wrong, and the guy who made it referenced Daniel Jose Older, and the moment I heard that name...
Wait, what about Daniel Jose Older?
Just a writing lecture he was giving on how to write stories.
Yeah. Daniel Jose Older's school of how to write stories. Let's put a Pony Express on a starship as its main means of communication. I still can't believe he did that as one of the short stories. I mean, imagine making something that completely pointless and thinking that it wouldn't just instantly piss off anyone that is already a Star Wars fan. Okay, so I do have to see this, though. Someone mentioning Daniel Jose Older writing. So this is something wrong with the Eternals. Is this... I assume this is in response to the movie, right?
I think it was made by Filmento.
Louisiana Boy says, Ace, Kaiserreich is interesting. I recommend the lore. One game I've got that you've reminded me of a little bit is Enigma Rising Tide, which is kind of similar. Although in that... Okay, so Enigma Rising Tide is an alternate history, World War I, where the Germans have actually taken Europe in World War I, and then it's fast forward to the 1930s. The U.S. never really got involved in the war, but basically you have the Imperial Japanese allied with the British versus the Germans, with the U.S. being a third power. And the Germans are led by Chancellor Manfred von Richthofen. The Red Baron is running Germany in this lore.
This is fine. Yeah, I have a video that basically perfectly represents how it made me feel.
All right. Okay, let's see this. Yep, we're getting an Allen.
Yeah, that's about right.
That probably will get my video flagged, but I don't care. Apparently, YouTube does not like me very much for the videos I've been doing with regards to Star Wars recently anyways, so... Oro says, Netflix took some inspiration on that new Lord of the Rings then. Dwarfermen without beards. Grumble, grumble. Okay. Louisiana Boy says that count sounds cool. Solon is going, nice. Okay. Solon says, I'm following Disney's guidelines, making it 25% different to avoid playing royalties. Okay. I'm not sure what this is in reference to, but okay. Anyways, I think now is a good time to go ahead and call it. So, yeah. Star Wars X-Wing Rogue Squadron, definitely a comic book series worth reading so far. And I am looking forward to seeing what next comes from it. I think Alpharius here thinks the same, right?
Yep.
So, yeah. It'll either be next week that we'll do more of this, or next week will be more Halcyon Legacy. Depends on if Halcyon Legacy comes out first or not. I'm not sure, so I'll check. But anyways, but yeah. In any case, this has been Ace
And Alpharius.
and we both hope to see you again soon. Take care and have a good one.